Well, that's the one thing, Mertz, with this, and you're a little bit of an anomaly. I just say maybe it's because you're more regal and wise now. But the accessibility is rare with the All Blacks. You don't see a lot, and it's like it's great the fact that on RugbyPass TV, with the New Zealand Rugby Union, have given us access to one of the players in camp. And I say that why it's so important. Mate, the All Blacks are the biggest brand in rugby. They're the biggest brand in rugby. And I say that with all due respect to South Africa, who have got great history in the World Cup, Ireland that are building, Australia, albeit not so much now, the All Blacks, the enormity of the brand and the team. And that's why I asked the question. No one's talking about them. Pretty mental, right?
Isn't it awesome just to be right beside them? Admittedly, the line-out, I was starting to break out in a bit of a rash, but nice to see them going about their work and the precision. I mean, you know, all the teams will be doing that, but you know, for me as a New Zealander to be alongside watching these guys go about their business, and you know, obviously you'll look with a bit more knowledge of that line out going on there. Jim possibly wasn't straight there, was it? But I don't want to say that too loud in case Dave Coles comes over and clips me.
No, it was straight, definitely. But on the line out as well, the one thing about that is the forward pack, and you look at the power that South Africa had that Ireland matched, and we spoke about the confidence. The All Blacks are going to be confident, right? It's the All Blacks, but they've not really tested themselves. They lost the first game. South Africa went on to win the World Cup after losing their first game. Confidence, it's building. They'll play Italy. Puncher's chance potentially, but everyone expects a comfortable victory for the All Blacks. Then they go flying into that quarter-final against, again, if we're crystal balling and we're looking at it,
don't write off Scotland. I know you're not writing off Scotland, I realise
I don't want to write off Scotland, but you look at, as in if you take the emotion out of it, potentially looking at Ireland, can the All Blacks live with the power? That is the question.
Yeah, well, I think they can. I think they've got they don't have the power game to match, I don't think. They've got players who are very, very powerful, and Frizzell coming back into it tonight is a really good example of that. Just gives so much more punch. And when they get down in the 22, that's where that guy comes alive as well. They couldn't get across the line against France. They were down in the territory so often and just didn't go away with points. So Frizzell, that's a big difference tonight. But I like this look at this game tonight. If the All Blacks play well, they should beat Italy. Now, we know it doesn't always happen as it should, so there are two teams in it, realise that. But this is a good game because Italy, in a way, is similar to France and or South Africa, maybe more even South Africa, where they're very physically strong up front. They'll knock you over around the rucks when you try and batter through there, so they'll knock the All Blacks over there. But then every time there's an opportunity, they will pounce with a player like Kapawatso. So it is very similar in a way to the Springboks. It's almost Springbok light in a way, if that's not being too derogatory to the Italians.
So on this side, where we're looking, I say that from a UK, we're in France, UK, Ireland perspective, South Africa as well. Why are no one talking about the All Blacks? Is it the loss to South Africa? Is it the fact that they lost that opening game? Are people stupid not to be putting the All Blacks in that conversation still?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd stop short of calling anyone stupid because most people are probably bigger than me anyway, certainly tougher. No, I just think, yeah, based on that South African result in the French game, it doesn't look like, or didn't look from those guys, those games, like the All Blacks had the ability to break through the line. You know, they've always probably led the world in innovation and the high skill level of all the players, 1 through 23. And they haven't been able to find ways to use those skills and to use that innovation. So that doesn't mean that they don't have it, it's just that they haven't showed it. So I can understand why people have, you know, stopped talking a little bit about them, but I think that's a good thing for the All Blacks. I think they'll be quite happy just going about their business, as David said.
So when we did our walk and talk a few weeks ago before the opening game against France, we were talking about the 10, your position of expertise, not mine. This is a really superficial comment from my point of view. When I see Jordie Barrett, I see a fly half. We've got a fantasy app on RugbyPass TV. Jordie Barrett, you can't even pick him at 15, you can only pick him at 10. Again, am I kind of short-sighted to still say that, or is he now cemented as a 15 and that's his best position?
Well, I think it's a matter of wanting to have Jordie Barrett on the field. For his leadership that he brings, his longevity and his excellence in the jersey is good for the All Blacks. And of course we know he's got that incredible pace, which is often used better from fullback than it is, you know, he doesn't get as many opportunities from fly half maybe to use that blistering pace that he's got. And it gives them the chance to take some responsibility off Richie Mo'unga or D-Mac if he's in at 10 as well, by having two playmakers switch in from 10 and 15. So I can understand why they do it. I think long-term the answer is going to be Will Jordan at fullback. So, you know, you're right, I don't think maybe you consider Barrett an out-and-out pure fullback, but hell, he's good enough to be there, and he certainly brings a lot of other things that maybe some fullbacks don't.
Listening to JK, the great Sir John Kirwan, we're going to get him on soon. He was talking about Will Jordan as a 15 and playing players being out of position. Rieko Ioane's in the centre. Again, I see him as a winger, but he can obviously play centre. Nick Gill was saying he's one of the greatest athletes the All Blacks have ever had. But it is strange, isn't it, that we're talking about players out of position when we're talking about a team that no one's talking about, the confidence part to it. Again, is this a plan for Ian Foster? Do you think when he gets to the quarterfinals, he could potentially see like a Rieko Ioane moving out? Taleia's obviously a fantastic player. Will Jordan looks good on the wing. Beauden Barrett at 15, but he hasn't done that before. Like, as in, it would be a change if he's done that.
I think you could see it happening. Will it happen? I'm not sure. I know Rieko Ioane, like, he's lightning fast, as we know. He just doesn't seem in those tight games to get, that's not his fault either, to get those opportunities. Doesn't seem to get as much ball. As soon as the All Blacks are on the front foot, he's devastating because he gets time and space with the ball, and he just doesn't get that. So, yeah, he's fantastic on the wing as well. That would allow you potentially to have a midfield that looks like Jordie Barrett and Anton Leonard-Brown. But to be honest, like, I'm the worst person to ask about what's going to happen. I've picked it so many times before and got it completely wrong. So, you know, they may as well put Scott Barrett out at 12, and I still wouldn't see it coming.
You could do it, but Jordie Barrett's back. He's massive for them. But again, I see Jordie Barrett as a 15. Am I wrong in saying that or not?
No, he's look, I think he's the way that 12s are playing at the moment, he's very good there because he's got the bulk, he's also got the height. He's got this, I don't need to talk to you. What am I talking to you about height for? He's got the Sonny Bill Williams sort of height, you know, where he can bust through the line but also bust over and have his arms free as well. And where the All Blacks, maybe in those two losses against France and South Africa, haven't excelled is in their offloads. They dropped a lot of ball against South Africa. They didn't get the chance to get the offloads away against France. So we're yet to see that come back into their game, and it's a massive part of their game.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see John Kirwan, the great Sir John Kirwan.
Offer him a coffee. He's an Italian snob. He won't.
Big Jim, hello mate.
Would you like an instant coffee, John? Sir Giovanni.
Good to see you, mate. Good to see you.
Sir John, we are live on RugbyPass TV.
Fantastic.
Big Jim show. You've been watching it as well.
I have been, mate. You're outstanding. How come we got Mertz? What's going on here?
Budget cuts.
Likes golf as well. So yeah. we've got a golfing theme.
Great golf partner.
He's been hanging out with Taika Waititi, the renowned Kiwi filmmaker and actor.
Yeah,
I saw that interview.
Loves his footy. Loves his footy.
We're going to try and get him as well. We nearly had him and Jason Momoa for the opener.
Nice.
They want to see the haka. They want not see the haka. They want to be literally sidelines. So we're going to try and make that happen. Yeah. Just one thing me and Mertz were talking about, and this might have been 2 years ago that you might have said it, JK, was around when I look at it from a superficial point of view, I'm seeing players in the All Blacks team out of position. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Jordie Barrett, in my mind, he's a 15, but he's playing 12. Beauden Barrett, in my mind, is a 10, but he's playing 15. Will Jordan's 15. I know this was 2 years ago that I heard you talking about it. Has your mindset changed on that? Or not? Are we just seeing the All Blacks put their greatest 15 out there as players and athletes?
Yeah, my mind's changed a wee bit. I think you've got to get your best options out there. The thing I like about this particular side is the physicality. We've seen the South Africans play Mertz. We saw the Irish step up to that physicality. What we've got tonight is some players coming back that are going to bring us that physicality. I think Jordie going to 12 has been a great thing, you know, just because he's a big man, gets us over the advantage line. Frizzell carrying the ball hard today. And I think this World Cup, if you think about anything, it's physicality, Mertz, and you've got to match it or be better.
And that's what, again, we were talking about, but I'll ask you the same thing.
You know I love physicality. You know I love physicality.
See it running through his veins, and the energy here is building now. A lot of All Black fans, casual All Black fans as well. Can this team match a South Africa and Ireland when it comes to the physicality? Because we've seen against France, game one, we saw against South Africa. I'd say maybe that's the first time I've seen an All Blacks really struggle physically. When they get to the quarters, can they turn it on?
Yeah, look, I think what we're looking for tonight is a really complete performance. We don't know how good this Italian side is against the All Blacks, so if we give them 15, we've got to give them 15. We need to give them 50, we've got to give them 50. But the physicality of this particular side is really good. What I also love is Dane Cole's coming off the bench. You know, we've got Sam Cane coming off the bench, Sam Whitelock coming off the bench. We have to match the physicality at least, but we also want to play a fast game.